Hello everyone, my name is José Maria Pimentel. I am an economist and I'm a podcaster in Portugal. And I'm also a digital EU ambassador, and I'm here with other digital EU ambassadors, three other digital EU ambassadors. And today we'll be talking about supercomputers and what the EU is doing on this front. There are 10 EU-funded supercomputers currently, and some of them are also double as AI factories, so the EU is doing a lot of stuff here. This is, I think, a topic that's interesting to anyone because everyone likes computers, computers everywhere.
So computer,
and these are supercomputers, so it's even better than a normal computer. And you guys, and like me, you have visited them. So our goal here is to understand what did you find, and what's your view on this topic. But first, let me ask you to introduce yourselves. So, Edgars, maybe starting with you, and then we'll go to Ilaria, and then to Rodrigo.
Yes, I go by Edgar Fresh on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. Mostly I make TikTok videos about technology, lots of explainers like this. I made the video, for example, about the Lumi supercomputer in Finland. And yeah, that's mostly what I do. Our future technologies and current technology, which is developing very fast. Try to explain to people how it works.
Cool. Ilaria.
I'm Ilaria Potenza. I'm an Italian journalist. I write about European projects and innovation, and I'm a medical doctor too. So also the visit to the supercomputer spread in Europe, it's really interesting to me in order to know how they work in terms of innovation and health too.
Yeah. Rodrigo.
I'm Rodrigo Taramona from Spain. I'm a content creator also on the intersection of technology and human behavior. I like to explore how technology is shaping how we behave, how we organize socially, economically, politically. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to go to a few of the European supercomputers, and it's always been an amazing trip.
You've been in 3, right?
2. Well, 2 might count as, you've been in 3.
So Ilaria went to 3.
I'm the supercomputer expert.
So you are the one with more
Yeah, let's start with her. Well, which supercomputers?
Yeah, let's start with Ilaria.
Yep, I visited Leonardo, the supercomputer Leonardo. It's in Italy, in Bologna. Leonardo, wow, what a name! Yep, it's located in Bologna, and I was there thanks to the DG Connect Digital U for the inauguration session. And it was insane because Bologna and all Emilia-Romagna is known everywhere worldwide for the Motor Valley. But now, thanks to Leonardo, Bologna has a really important position in terms of innovation, research, and AI. Because Leonardo is also moving forward as an AI factory, and maybe we can talk about later about this. And so it's a great, it's an honor for Italy hosting this supercomputer. And then
you can talk about it now if you want.
Yeah, yeah. Today, for example, during the panel session in our annual meeting, we're talking about the importance for a European startup to have a close connection to the supercomputer in order to use the potential and the capacity of a supercomputer in order to improve the intelligence, the artificial intelligence system. And in that way, the European the supercomputer can give to the researcher all the tools to make that. And so the supercomputers begins to and it comes to be an AI factory. So really. An environment open to the research and to the possibility to make some improvement in terms of intelligence, artificial intelligence. So that's why I really love and appreciate the visit to Leonardo, and I find also a lot of difference between all the European supercomputers because I have the chance to visit 3 supercomputers, and each supercomputer has its
super
history.
in its own way.
Yeah, it's super. Yeah, it has its history, and it's really cool because you can think, oh, they are all the same. There's the same old story everywhere. No, it's not like this, because Leonardo has this tradition, this new tradition. Mare Nostrum is also known for the design aspect, because it wins, for example, Mare Nostrum 4, because in Barcelona there's a Mare Nostrum 4 and Mare Nostrum 5. This is the evolution of Mare Nostrum 4.
You could say that you've been to 4 supercomputers. Because there are 2 in Barcelona.
If you count it twice.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
in Barcelona
can say
you
that.
have because in Barcelona the Mare Nostrum 4 is very special. It's like unique.
Yep.
It's a one of a kind because it's in a church.
In a church.
And it's actually been
Yep.
featured in a movie. And
Yep, Dan Brown. It
Dan Brown
inspired the Dan Brown book and movie, and it wins a prize, a design prize as the most beautiful the supercomputer in the world.
Cool, Mare Nostrum.
And then Mare Nostrum, yep. Lumi, on the other side is wonderful because it's the most sustainable supercomputer in Europe. So
the most powerful in the EU.
Yep. And each supercomputer has his own stories. And
Interesting.
that's really interesting, yep.
We'll go to Lumi afterwards with Edgars, but let's go to Mare Nostrum.
Oh,
with
yeah.
you, Rodrigo.
Yeah, that was actually the first supercomputer I visited, which is where we met. And so, yeah, you have the Mare Nostrum 4, which is this older supercomputer. And it's funny because it's a supercomputer in the church. And you can tell that it's older, especially having the Mare Nostrum 5 right next to it, which in design is more similar to what we saw in Lumi in Finland. But the reason is like the Mare Nostrum 4 is going to be retired, because that will be the space for, I don't know if it'll be the first, but for a European quantum computer.
Cool.
So we will have a quantum computer in a church, which I bet will win every design award too, because it'll be cool. And yeah, it was a great opportunity to meet also like the director, the manager of Mare Nostrum. Is a very nice man, very enthusiastic. We talked about Europe's strategy for chips development also, which is really important for us, for the whole community. So yeah, it's great.
Cool. Edgars, what about Lumi? Closer to home.
Yeah, it's great. Up north in the cold.
You don't need to spend money
apparently
on
they're
refrigeration, right?
That's why it's so
they're
sustainable. It's
using
one of the many
the
reasons.
environment to
Yeah.
make it more sustainable. I think the story about these European supercomputers are very European, like they're different from United States. I like how it tells the story of Europe, like we like fashionable things, and every supercomputer has their name and their different design. It's like Paris Fashion Week, we love Eurovision. It's very European in that way, and that also. It's not the biggest, it's not the best, but it doesn't need to be, but because they share the computing power also with everyone. It's not like one big company owns it. So actually when we went to Finland, before that visit, I visited a local company in Latvia called Tilde. They make lots of spell checking software in different languages, very specific, and they're actually training a model on the Lumi supercomputer. They won a contest to have access to this computer for the computing power to train model with more than 30 different European languages. And yeah, in a way, it's very nice that all these different applications can be put on there, not just training one generic model, but very specific ones, which are in many cases way more useful.
And it's true that there's this identity of, especially you know how Europe is on green energy and sustainability, right? And this was also true for Mare Nostrum. Mare Nostrum 5, it's cooled by water, as they all are. And the thing is, Mare Nostrum 5 uses the heat for the building, and all the offices are heated with the water that's coming out of the supercomputer when it's cooling. But in Lumi, this goes a step further, because it's in a very, very remote, in this remote town called Kajaani. And in Kajaani, I think it was 80, you better fact check this, but it's about 80% of Kajaani's heating use in winter, this is Finland, okay, comes from the water from the Lumi supercomputer. So that's great, it's true. You save a lot of energy, you make that sustainable, and it's actually very powerful. It's true that there's another supercomputer that's more powerful than Lumi, but on the EU network of supercomputers, those 10 supercomputers, Lumi is the big boss.
In terms of sustainability, Lumi, for example, is the base of the European project Destination Earth, in order to create the twin, the digital twin of Earth, in order to know something about the climate change.
Yeah, model climate. Yeah.
So it's the base of this European project. Is really, really interesting. Yeah.
And did you guys have a similar experience to Edgars in terms of contacting with the companies and the people and the researchers that are actually using those supercomputers for their work?
I haven't, but that's something I am actually very, very passionate about, and I think this is great news. I mean, it's awesome that we have these supercomputers for research use and for academia. But if Europe wants to be competitive and relevant technologically, that will be brought by its private companies getting access to technology. If Europe can offer that, and it's going to do it, it's going to offer some compute for these companies, okay, that's the way to go, because what we need now is to tell these companies that Europe is a great place to start a company and to scale it up, and I think that finally this is a moment which we all know it's been crazy in America, here, China is doing a great job on AI. Well, maybe it's time for us to start, building our private tech sector. And I think also on the East, there are many countries that are, by necessity, very into tech, a lot into cybersecurity. That's how Europe might become like a significant player in the tech realm.
Yeah, I think we should focus on the strengths which we have in Europe, like what makes us different, not just try to copy what the United States does, but actually I think Europe is doing that very well right now. Make it different. Yeah.
I think it's the AI factory now. The goal of the AI factory is tell to startup, please don't go away, don't go to USA, don't go to China, because here you have all the tools, all the possibility to improve your and scale.
And bring the private companies as partners for the building of the supercomputers, because it's also like you want private companies to have a share of the stake, share of the benefits of building the supercomputers, because also private companies, because they have to make a profit, because their livelihood depends on the success of the project. They are going to work hard on how to make this like efficient and competitive and great. So I'm very interested in that. We have big competitors on the other side, and I think that this shouldn't be about competition. It should be about cooperation. But that sounds great on paper. Let's hope it is. But until that happens, we have to be like working hard on building it fast. See how, Elon Musk Colossus project has been built in 128 days, I think. That is ridiculous. Like that usually takes months or years to build a computer this size, the size of Colossus. I hope that here we can make this fast, we can work fast with the states, and let's try to make, the regulations a little bit easier, the bureaucracy a little bit easier too, and make this happen, because this is the age of AI. Everything is about to change forever.
Yeah. And one thing I'm curious about, you guys are all very present online, so you have a large number of followers. What's your experience when you mention this specific topic? Well, digital in general, but here we are talking about supercomputers and the EU supercomputers. When you mention them, when you do a post about it or make a video or whatever, like what's the reaction on the other side? Because what I feel is that this is not sufficiently known by like the average person on the street, right? So when you have made content on this topic, what have been the reactions? Maybe I don't know. Maybe let's follow this direction.
I was a bit disappointed that didn't get as many views as I would like. Maybe it's a very specific topic, but at the same time, I got very good feedback from that video. Like people were super interested that I went deep into this topic and like explained a lot. And I think, people are interested. They don't know a lot about what's happening in Europe, so it's important to talk about it as well.
But do you feel like, for some reason, people were interested in the topic? Again, I think it's impossible not to be interested in a topic that starts with super, right? It almost sells itself. But
you got me with super.
Exactly. Did you feel that you would need, I don't know, something more palpable to show people an element of storytelling? I don't know. Did you feel like in retrospect, like in hindsight, do you think there's something that can be done to improve the storytelling?
Yeah, always
on
you can
issue?
improve something. It was hard to get like the story of which I mentioned before about our local company because they were not able to explain it well. It's like very
technical,
big AI model, 30 billion parameters. Like I have no idea. Nobody has no idea what it means. So it's hard in a way, but I think the visual aspect and like making it also very, very nice and friendly to people to see how it looks like inside. That works. Yeah.
Cool. Ilaria.
Yeah, the visual aspect is absolutely the first thing because you are in a place where nobody can go, usually go, so they feel you are sort of, I don't know, you have a little power to go and visit something that is enormous, is bigger, and the thing that I try to do anytime I had this possibility is to make a sort of translation in a daily life in order to explain how the supercomputer has an impact in your daily life, because a supercomputer is useful for our daily life. It's not a supercomputer for super things and abstract things. No, it's useful for our daily life. And when you try to explain this kind of impact, people come with you and they love visiting supercomputer, because if you start talking about AI factories, for startup is a good way to scale. I don't give I don't mind. I want to know that it's important to know how the weather is, how I can imagine the impact of the climate change in our daily life. So it's so the thing that I try to do is translate their powerful in the daily life, and I want also to remark that supercomputers are connected in a European family, because there's the Euro HPC project, and it's important to understand that they work all together. So it doesn't exist an Italian supercomputer, a Finnish supercomputer. It is the Euro HPC family, and that's important. It's really important in European way. Yep.
Yeah, I actually got many views on both videos from the supercomputer. I was lucky enough, and I think that people could relate for two reasons. On the first one, which was the Mare Nostrum 4, it was like, because I started saying like, did you know there's a supercomputer in a church? And with the image of it, and immediately it's like, no, I didn't. Of course, nobody knew.
You
like,
get their
most
attention,
people
right?
didn't know. Exactly. Like, so, okay, you got my curiosity now, grab my attention, and I was like, so that was something very relevant. And in Spain, it might happen on many other places, like we don't realize many times of the things we have, you know, especially technology-wise. And having like not one, two supercomputers, one of them in a church, that was like something I think it was very captivating. And with the Lumi was the fact that I started that video saying like in Kajani, and I was saying like, can you imagine like a supercomputer that heats this town and this snowy town, because it was full of snow, of course. We went in the end of winter. And as you say, like the way to make people understand the capacity of a supercomputer is like, okay, petaflops. What are petaflops? It looks like I've made up the word. But if I tell you that in a second it can make as many calculations as all the humans in the world could do in a year, okay, now you start to understand why this matters and the power it has. So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, unlike supercomputer, which is always running, we are running out of time. So we have to end this.
Good one.
Do you guys want to add anything? I don't know, anything you want to share, or any experience you want to share, or any opinion you want to...
You know what I want to say to people in Barcelona? You can visit Mare Nostrum 4 and 5. Like if you can reach out,
you can visit any of them, I guess, right?
I guess you can visit any of them, but I don't know how the process is in Kajani or whatever. But I know in Barcelona, like you can reach out, Spaniards.
Come on, get out of your
my
couch.
people. Yeah, go take a look. And if you're thinking of starting an AI company, realize that you have the support of the EU. So, you know, don't run away. I think it's a great time to start doing it. And I think that there's talent everywhere. Again, I'm very bullish with the people on the east of Europe on why it matters for them to get into technologies that are relevant and very much needed in these days. So yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. Edgars, Ilaria, Rodrigo, thank you.